Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. Today is Good Friday, so the markets were closed because of it. It's a holiday. So we didn't have anything on the miners, but we did have obviously a couple of things happen. And I got a correction to make for you guys. Obviously, I messed up yesterday in the video I did. I said that Cleanspark was only adding 300 million. They're adding actually 800 million, which is fine, but we'll talk about it. But there's some other optics we need to take a look at there. And then we'll also take a look at Bitmain's new machine, the S21 Pro. Looks really good. So we'll take a look at that one first. We'll get into Cleanspark. I'll give you guys my updates and everything else on that as well. But as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice, for entertainment only. Please do your own research. Invest in flying coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously, especially hitting the like button. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out tremendously. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on here in the markets really quick with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is down actually today. It was down. There it is. Bitcoin was down right now 1.8% on the downside. It's at 69,525, which is still, I mean, you can see it here. It's kind of trading sideways here over the last couple of days, over the last 4 days, ever since Tuesday here. It's been kind of up and down, up and down. It's kind of like sitting right around that 69,800 mark or something like that for the most part. So we'll see what happens here over the weekend. We'll then get into, obviously, Monday. We'll have a whole new month. We're in April already. So we're going to start getting the production updates for the miners as well. We'll get you guys caught up on all those when they do come out on that side of things. So let's just take a look at the stories that we do have here. So Bitmain, obviously one of the largest Bitcoin mining manufacturers, announced the launch of Antminer S21 Pro at the Global Digital Mining Summit event the company hosts. So Antminer S21 Pro newly launched, 234 terahash, 15 joules per terahash. That's right now, I think, like the best efficiency out of any miner that's out there right now. 15 joules per terahash. I think the latest, the regular S21s are, what are they, 17 joules per terahash or something like that. I'm going off memory here, but that's kind of what we're looking at. So this is definitely the best one. I don't know when this is going to be coming out. Here's a picture of it. They're saying 234 terahashes. It's going to be about $19 per terahash after coupon, delivering each month of Q3, Q4 of 24. So towards the end of this year, second half of the year. So this is kind of cool. We'll see who starts buying those up. It could be Cleanspark, could be Marathon, could be Riot. Well, Riot I think is already fully with another manufacturer right now to get to 100 terahash, 100 exahash potentially. But yeah, just want to point that out to you guys. I thought it was kind of cool here. And then let's take a look at, obviously, Cleanspark here. So my mistake here, and I wasn't the only one that had this mixed up wrong. Congrats to the Mara pigs out there. All the piggies got it right. And I saw this part up here, and I thought, yeah, they're only diluting by another 300 million to get to 800 million part of this dilution stack here. And I wasn't the only one that thought that. It was a little confusing here. I should have kept reading it further down. I don't have time to read all 21 pages of everything, especially since I cover 18 miners. So when we do make a mistake, we'll correct it and we'll get it out to you guys. But I should have kept writing down here. So it says up here, right? Up to 260,040,980 shares after giving effect to the assumed sale of $800 million of shares of our common stock at an assumed price of $23.11 per share, which was the closing sales price of the common stock on the Nasdaq Capital Markets on March 27th. Okay, there. And then obviously we saw up here that they already sold shares, right? We issued and sold 34 million shares already to get to 500 million, proceeds of 487 million. And then it was down here, where was it at? Oh, right here. Bingo. And then here's obviously the number, right? 225 million shares already out there right now. It's based on the 225 million, 0.423. All right. Take that, subtract that from the 260, you get, what is that? 34 million something, multiply that times the 23, and you get 800 million additional. So should have went a little bit further and read the actual numbers down here instead of thinking it's only 800 complete total with the 500, but it's not. It's actually going to be a 1.3 billion ATM through this amended process. So that does get us up to quite a bit more than we were expecting or what we thought, right? So I do apologize for the mistake. You guys on the Twitter were right. Some of you guys also in the chat were right. Not the chat, but the comments. You guys were right on that as well. And I was hoping to get some numbers from Cleanspark on this, some verification. I just want to verify things. I haven't heard anything from Matt. I think they're just being quiet about it right now, which that is a big negative to me. I think they should have came out and said, hey, here's what we're doing. You know, we're upping our ATM by 800 million. It's going to be 1.3 billion total. And then we have obviously plans to use that accretively to investors, growth for the company and things like that. But with whenever companies are quiet and management's quiet, it's obviously feeds a lot more into this FUD and everything else. So that's definitely a negative on their part there. I hope I don't know if they're going to learn their lesson, but I hope they learn their lesson on this. It's better to be open and honest about things, right? What your plans are. Maybe they don't want to speak about their plans, but they can at least say, this is what we're doing. We're going to be going forward with this. And, our plan is to get to 50 exahash, whatever it might be or above. So again, sorry about the mishap. Got that wrong yesterday. We got it corrected here today. But doesn't really change the fact for Cleanspark as far as what their growth has been so far or where their growth is going to be going forward, right? Cleanspark is one of the top miners that has actually stated their goals and actually met their goals or exceeded their goals in the past. And I expect that to continue going forward. Now, if they start letting me down on that, then we'll have to reevaluate whether or not I want to be in Cleanspark anymore. Okay, but currently, this is obviously a little black eye on them, which is not good because it does definitely deter investors in getting into them. I think they could use some better communications from them. But going back over here, so based on the latest numbers that we do have here for them, if we go over here, it looks like we know that pretty much 16 exahash can be fully funded already, right? They already stated that a couple months back. But the latest dilution that they had here of the 500 million, which gave them 400 and what was it? Going back here, gave them, where did I have it here? 487 million, right? So I think from that would give them possibly, right? This is possibly, these are just some estimates here on the 200 terahash miners with about 410 kilowatts of electricity or 410 megawatts. And the miner's cost would be 286 million, infrastructure 375,000 per megawatt. And that gets us to a total of 440 million potentially to add approximately 19.8, or you could say 20 exahash roughly. So from the 16, add that on top of it. So it looks like they might be fully funded to at least a 32 exahash, which was their goal. So that should be, I think, they haven't came out and said that, but this is the way it looks like to me, at least, with what they have to get to 32 exahash. The other 4 exahash that's not being accounted in here could be used for operational expenses and maybe trying to hodl more potentially, right? As we get into this heavy event here, now only 20 days away or so, that could be part of it there. And give them some liquidity as well, maybe on their balance sheet a little bit. And then if they're to pull on the 800 million ATM that's now added to it, that could get us to possibly an additional 700 megawatts of infrastructure, which I'm still using the 200 terahash miners here if they use those. And the price on those still $14.40, right? We know the new ones here, the S21 Pros, are about $19 after coupons. We'll go with the regular 200 terahash miners here for now, but then we'll maybe switch this up later on. But based on all this infrastructure, miners, and everything else, that would be about 751 million to add an additional 33, you could say 34 exahash roughly. So we got the 19, the 33, potentially 34, right, roughly there. And that would possibly get us to now 70 total exahash in the next potentially 2 years, right? This year, next year potentially, because well, that would be really impressive if they could get out to that by the end of the year. I don't think that's possible unless they buy up everything that they come across. But obviously, that's I think where maybe we're heading right now is the 70 exahash mark, but we'll see, right? We don't know anything concrete from them. These are just kind of my back of the napkin calculations here, what ifs, right? These are all what ifs. This is not anything that's concrete from them. But it's kind of nice to take a look at it nonetheless to see where things possibly could go. If we use the 230, what did they state there? It was 234. 234 terahash miners, 234. And then that is 3.5 kilowatts on those. You could get, let's see here. So you would actually, on that cost on those was about $19. Let's go with that. Per terahash, you're looking at a heck of a lot more. So let's see here. That's 37. And before that, we had around, let's see. What was that before? I should have written this down. Yeah. Okay, but that's obviously like 1 billion there if you had 700 megawatts to do that. So we would probably have to dial that down. So we're at 73 here now with that. So it definitely increased it by a little bit, by about 4 exahash, it looks like. So if we dial it down to, let's see if we can get it down to maybe Control Z to go over here. Do this at 0.6. What does that get us to? That's 32 exahash or so and that's 834 million still. Let's see, we'd have to go down to point maybe 793 million. Okay, so 793, that gets us to about 66 or so on that one. So it looks like it might be actually better to go with the 200 terahash miners at a lower cost. You can build out more based on what I'm seeing here on this. So if we go back to 200 over here, 3.3 roughly, and then we're getting it at 14, what was it, 1440, I think, 1440, something like that. Yeah, so you're able to get a little bit more from that at 0.7 exahash or point, yeah, there you go. So that gets them closer to 70 actually than the 234 terahash miners. Okay, so that's it. Like I said, this wasn't obviously a good event for Cleanspark. Matt selling and then Zach selling the week prior, and then the ATM coming out. But it is what it is. Can't really change anything about it. They have done really well over the last 3 years. And that's obviously just a little black eye on them here recently. And I hope they do a better job communicating things going forward. So that is it. Let me know what you guys think of all this stuff, and we'll call it a day here. So pretty easy right now. Obviously, we got the weekend coming up. Not much else going on. We'll probably take what's going on tomorrow? Tomorrow I have the Twitter space with the Bitcoin mining stock guy, the BTC mining stock guy, and that's at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. And then after that, whenever that finishes up, which could go for like 4 or 5 hours, who knows how long that's going to go, I'll do a live stream with you guys on the miners as far as how they performed this past week, along with Bitcoin. And then we'll do a Q&A possibly, unless something else happens after that. Okay, so that's it. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys tomorrow.